because it's the silly, stupid, fascinating, weird, wonderful. They're my people, and more often than not, they're the geeky people as well.
I mentioned Betamax. For anybody older, that's the old version of a video cassette. A video cassette is an old version of a DVD. A DVD is not set in the cloud.
Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Faith and Geekery. Imagine it's the spare room of interest and iniquities. Maybe not sure. Interests and hobbies, where you get to peruse the shelves of your host and have a look at the interesting spines of books and things like that. My name is Mark, and tonight we are joined by.
I'm Tim. Hello. I am the ghost of Christmas specials past.
And how are you doing, Tim?
I'm not doing too bad, Mark. How are you doing?
I am okay. I have been busy this week trying to offer a campaign for family and friends, which I've kind of shared in various places, but It has been good. It's been fun. There wasn't a TPK, so that
Always
was
good.
all right, and I'll be sharing some pictures later. How about yourself?
TPK, for those that do not know, is a total party kill, which can happen in role-playing games. We just wrapped up my consistent Sunday game that has been going on for over a couple of campaigns, but we finally said we're taking a very long break after 5+ years.
Oh, wow.
Which has been every Sunday consistently at 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock, both where it was in the US, we're over here, consistently that every single week is.
I mean, that in itself is pretty spectacular.
We've had, within the group, we've had multiple children born.
As in
a couple, as in me and another player both were expecting our first child around the same time.
That's true.
So we both had that becoming parents and all at the same time.
So you were role playing that then?
We were role playing other things. We were definitely not role playing that. But so we decided after 5+ years that we needed an extended break. So we're at least 6 months, which is it's a bit of a thing.
Yeah,
it was good. It was good. We ended on a really positive note, which is rare for our campaigns because they do normally end in a TPK.
That's very good. That reminds me, actually, we're supposedly on the penultimate session of our long-term campaign as well, but we have already put 4 dates in the diary, and we're now on. We couldn't make one. We managed one, and then my DM was there going, "Yeah, it might be 2." So I'm not sure if it is going to be 1 or 2. But at the end of our last one, Tom, our DM, had managed to make. He'd kind of like invited us all over. It was around a table. He'd set up all these kind of finishing pieces, everything, and we kind of made our way through to this big arena. And then there was this moment, a bit like Lord of the Rings, where on the precipice of the door, precipice, we kind of went, before we go in, Paladin, why don't you take this and then do this and then this and then this, rather than us all, what's the point of us all trying, you're the kind of tank. And basically Becky, who was the Paladin, managed to roll, I think it was like 3 natural 20s. And it was like 4. It was something really ridiculous.
And basically pumping the smite into any attacks that you do with that.
Yeah, well, exactly. And so it was something like she had 2 big hefty attacks, and then Tom was kind of going to get the dragon to retreat, and then I kind of went, well, does she get an opportunity attack? And he was like, yep. And managed to kind of double whammy again with this kind of giant slayer sword, and so it kind of ended the whole campaign quite prematurely, one would say, and it was just a bit of an anticlimax, but it was good, it was fun, it was fab.
But...
yes, but it was just a bit like, okay, are you okay there, DM?
our campaign came down to, we had for everyone says do not split the party. But not only did we split the party, we had split combats happening at the same time.
Oh wow!
In different spaces, versus quite a high level mage, and versus like proper like war tactics. Like you have militias being controlled by NPCs that you control, give orders, and that kind of thing. And as form of like doing session recaps, we got dramatic inspirations which we could use during the game, which are like fun little things like you can turn a natural 1 into a natural 20, or everything about what's about to happen.
That's very good.
And we had a load of things like those like really powerful one-off resources that we had saved up. And in the fight, I was up against a very high level mage that I could not see as feasibly coming out well. I had an ability which meant I could summon, like, warp reality a little bit based on this one creature called Ashblade, who was a future king in this setting that we were doing. And I basically said, I'm going to swap places with you, and you're going to fight this. That's what happened. And we just suddenly got a very high level NPC in to like end that fight, which then meant we could do the last part of this like kingdom building tournament using various bonuses, where I managed to get a plus 22 to my roll for that check.
Wow, blimey.
And the DC was 25, and I got a natural 19.
Wow.
So it was a major success.
Welcome, folks, to Dungeons and Dragons. And oh no, wait, sorry, this is Faith Geekery. So we should kind of move on. But the question is, what geeky things have we been up to recently? And both of us have been playing too much or just enough D&D.
I also
hence the chat.
I have also just finished Dragon Age, the new one, Veilguard.
I don't know what that is. You'll have to explain.
Dragon Age, for those who don't know, is a video game. It's from the Dragon Age series. It's a team-based role-playing game. You have your team companions. It's all about, if you played Mass Effect or any BioWare game, it's the kind of like building the relationships within your party and doing missions to do that. And it was genuinely, there's been a lot of criticism around like the making of it and how it got to this point, but the stories are like towards the end, there were some really powerful story beats that kind of made me go, oh no, I don't want to make this choice. Someone's about to die. I don't want that. Which was, just, when you get invested in a video game and you're suddenly going, oh no, I don't want this character to die. It's like the only time I've properly felt like that was when I was playing Mass Effect 3. And I'd played Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2. I'd done all the storylines, all the loyalty missions, going to Mass Effect 3, doing the same. And there's a character called Morden, who is a scientist who, did lots of bad things and feels he needs to make up for it.
Actual spoilers. Spoilers.
Sure. It's going to be an actual spoiler. But if you play, he's done a lot of bad, and it gets to a point where there is an option to basically, someone has to stay behind and press this button to make sure that this society of aliens can have a future. And he basically pushes loads of people out of the way last minute and takes over and says, it's going to be no one else, it's got to be me. But he sings, what is, Modern Major Gentleman. Can't remember what that's called.
Oh, my kids love it. I'm a perfect yeah. Yes, that one.
Yeah, he starts singing that. He starts singing all of that as he's going up to finish off, going to his death. But
I am the very model of a modern.
I am the very model of a modern major. Yeah, that. He does that all the way up to like saving an entire planet of aliens.
Very good.
But like having seen his entire storyline up to that point, it gave you the proper emotional feels.
Oh, well, yeah. I think those things can, especially when you emotionally invest, whether it is a game, whether it is role play, they can all kind of bring with them package. We are going to be talking tonight about Christmas specials and putting the special into Christmas or variants thereof, looking at the Christmas specials, but also then kind of reflecting a bit of what things do we put into it, whether traditions or our own little kind of spin on stuff, whether that's anything from watching a Die Hard, other Christmas movies are available, won't go there, or you need to have that mash or you need to have that kind of dish on the Christmas spread. So we're going to go down that route. However, first of all, we've got our usual things, such as our geeky news. Tonight on Geeky News, we have the new trailer of the 28 Days saga, 28 years later. Ooh. Thank you, Tim, for that suggestion and for that horrifying viewing. Is it 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes?
It's 2.5 minutes. It stars Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Ralph Fiennes. If you have watched 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later,
yes,
it is post-apocalyptic zombie survival in Britain. And 28 years later is taking it. Yeah.
It goes dark and bleak.
It goes dark. It's what's his name? Danny did the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Dyer. No.
No, definitely not Danny Dyer.
No, it's the one who did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's explore that.
Yeah.
Come back to it in a sec. Also on Geeky News,
Danny Boyle.
Oh, there we go. Danny Boyle. Of course, it is Danny Boyle. Oldest Doctor Who actor Arnold Yarrow has died. He first appeared in 1974 in kind of, I was about to say cosmetics, in all the kind of garb as Belial. Other news, Henry Cavill has shared that they are moving forward. Is it with Amazon? I can't remember. Amazon and Warhammer
with Amazon, yeah.
With their new 40k series. Is this going to be the new winter? Oh gosh, my head.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I was thinking the one that he was in.
Oh, The Witcher.
The Witcher. Thank you.
I think. I think it might be. He has got on record in multiple interviews that he is that guy on set that knows the source material and will turn around and go, "Ooh, I'm not sure it'll be like that."
Yeah.
And
it's Henry, isn't it?
But it paid off in The Witcher, and we know that he loves Warhammer 40k more than anything else, aside from World of Warcraft, which is why he nearly missed out on becoming Superman.
Yeah.
So he has a deep love of the lore, deep love of the property. So we'll do right by it. Let's hope the studio will do right by it as well.
And you'd hope that with the history of The Witcher, then hopefully he will be able to carry that. Last couple of things. Movie news is Richard Curtis' film That Christmas has hit Netflix, but it looks really strange because it looks like a sequel to Arthur Christmas, but it isn't actually. It's just the similar animation style, but it is based on Richard Curtis' book. So it looks interesting. And Red One, which we talked about a few weeks ago, has not done well, or is not doing well. Which is this the end of The Rock's kind of? Well, yeah, I think I was about to say is it the beginning, but actually, I watched Black Adam last month, and that wasn't good either. So maybe he needs to look at the scripts a little bit more closer before he signs off on them.
A lot of they're having seen a lot of what The Rock has done, for good or bad, mostly bad. he takes a lot of control in the production of things.
Yeah,
and
that's
I think
true.
like if he's like taking a lot of production, a lot of control, and making himself the central character, sometimes you don't have to be the central character to be really impactful. I mean, look at Scorpion King. You were in that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of The Rock actually, and some of his films. It's interesting though that in one sentence we've just said about Henry Cavill and about being that person on set, and then in the other we've just said about The Rock being that person on set.
Like all things, good ways and bad ways.
Yes.
Like I like some of The Rock's early work, Walking Tall, Gridiron Gang. He made a cameo in Get Smart. Things like that. Good, comedic. Now he's going to I am the action hero that no one can stop.
Well, is he? I'm a fan of Rampage, Skyscraper, Jumanji 1 and 2, and that sort of era of his as well, really. And I remember watching him in The Scorpion King, or watching a heavily CGI'd version of him.
Money 2.
Yeah.
Returns. As the Scorpion King CGI'd up, and then they did a prequel spin-off called The Scorpion King, which is how he became this amazing leader of people. And then they recast him for the sequel and recast that person for the prequel.
Yeah. And too right too. On that note, that's the end of Geeky News. So at this point, I hand over to Tim as Tim cracks his knuckles in anticipation.
As we do, the quiz.
Sorry, nearly forgot to do the video.
Now, some of you might detect that there's going to be a theme for this quiz. You would have it correct. It is seasonally appropriate. But
very good.
We have 5 questions. There may be some bonus points. I'll let you know. So if you're all ready, we shall start with question 1. The good classic question to have on any quiz. On this day, in 1901, it was the first ever Nobel Prizes were awarded. The recipient for the first Peace Prize founded what international humanitarian organization? There'll be a bonus point if you can say what their name is.
Oh, good. Right.
The recipient for the first Peace Prize founded what international humanitarian organization?
Isn't it really bad that my initial thought goes to films and a very obscure film called Young Einstein, starring Yahoo Serious, who he appears on as a Nobel Peace Prize winner as an Aussie version of Einstein. Completely bizarre, completely weird and wappy. But yeah, there we go. I have written an answer down, not that one.
The second one is when we get into the Christmas specials. Which of the following Last of the Summer Wine Christmas specials aired first? Your options are...
Oh, good. We've got options.
Your options are A Leg Up for Christmas, All Mod Conned, and A Dewhurst Up a Fir Tree, Variations on a Theme of the Widow Winstanley.
Oh my gosh.
Which of the following Last of the Summer Wine Christmas specials aired first? A Leg Up for Christmas, All Mod Conned, and A Dewhurst Up a Fir Tree, and Variations on a Theme of the Widow Winstanley.
Can I just ask, are these all Christmas themed?
These are all Christmas special themed.
Including the first question?
Yes. Yeah, Nobel Prizes are awarded every year, like, on this day.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was thinking whether the winner had something that was peace-related on Christmas related.
Do you not think The Last of the Summer Wine is a peaceful, relaxing, charming show?
I remember watching it. Not that special, though. Carry on.
Question number 3. What was the name of the first Vicar of Dibley Christmas special?
Oh, my God.
So when I was doing some research for this, it turns out Vicar of Dibley basically exclusively aired over November and December during its entire run. So has had quite a lot of specials that only aired around Christmas. But what was the first one?
I don't know. Right, I'm crossing one answer out.
Question number 4. Which of the following soap operas have had the most Christmas weddings? And we are defining this as a successful wedding. They actually said I do.
Okay, yeah.
And it had to have aired on the 24th, 25th, or 26th of December.
Oh, okay.
That is the criteria. Has to be a successful wedding on the 24th, 25th, and 26th of December. The options are Coronation Street, EastEnders, or Emmerdale Farm.
Yeah, okay.
Again, this was a lot of going through the various long lists of weddings in EastEnders and finding successful weddings that did not have someone jilted at the altar or wedding being called off, or there was like a lot of weddings in the festive season, like just approaching like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So that's why we've been very strict on this.
Okay, I've written something down.
Okay.
I've changed my answer.
And question number 5. What was the first Christmas number 1?
Wow, okay.
I think I can double check it. The year, if people want the year as a hint.
I mean, I think I'd be open to any help at all in all of these.
So, the first Christmas number 1 was in 1952. The reason it was the first Christmas number was in 1952 because that was the first year that the official chart company launched. Was that year?
Oh, go on then. Are we ready for the answers, folks?
The answers. Question number 1. The Nobel Peace Prize, they founded the Red Cross.
I didn't know if it was Red Cross or NATO, so I went with...
and it for the bonus point, it was Henry Dunant. Question number 2.
Nilpois.
Which of the following Last of the Summer Wine Christmas specials aired first?
I'm sure you're suddenly sounding more Yorkshire then.
I mean, I have to. It's Last of the Summer Wine. Mark, what do you think it was?
I guessed A Leg Up for Christmas.
No, it was A Dewhurst Up a Fir Tree in 1979. Of course, one of the Christmas specials for Last of Summer Wine was actually The Funeral for Cobbo.
Yeah.
In, I think, 96. What was the name of the first Vicar of Dibley Christmas special?
I completely took a guess. I couldn't remember whether it was a Christmas special or not with Kylie Minogue. So I kind of just wrote Locomotion. But I knew there was also one from, is it Pride and Prejudice, with the one where she falls into the
puddle.
Big puddle, yeah. Go on.
That was the autumn special.
It
was the Christmas lunch incident. It's the one where she has something I'm sure you've never had to deal with, Mark, where you've had...
Oh, I've made that out of... Is it that?
It's one where they've done multiple Christmas meals, including the competition to eat all the Brussels sprouts between David and Geraldine. The one where they have the Christmas puddings with a £5 note inside of it. Owen's classic tripe Christmas meal.
Oh.
And Mel Gedroych appearing as Alice's sister dressed as an Easter bunny.
Very good.
Question number 4. Which soap opera had the most Christmas weddings?
Well, I was going to guess EastEnders, but then you referenced EastEnders quite heavily in your research, so I decided to opt away from that and opt towards Coronation Street instead.
It was actually EastEnders.
That was a trick.
So Coronation Street had had more people being left at the altar or the wedding being called off. And if we expanded it to festive season, including New Year, Emmerdale would have won by quite a hefty margin.
Is it just because they didn't really put anything out on Christmas?
So BBC, from looking at it, the BBC tend to put more EastEnders specials on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, and Boxing Day, while ITV just didn't. So despite Coronation Street being around longer, they've had the fewest Christmas specials or Christmas weddings. And finally, what was the first Christmas number one?
My guess was Have Yourself a Very Merry Christmas.
It was actually Al Martino's Here in My Heart.
Of course. Oh my gosh.
I know. The first actual Christmas number one with the Christmas in the title was Dickie Valentine's Christmas Alphabet in 1955. And a classic that we all hear to nowadays is Harry Belafonte's Mary's Boy Child in 1957.
Okay.
So you could have had a total of 6 points, including that bonus point for the founder of the Red Cross. Mark, how many points did you get?
I got 0 points. So, and on that note, that's the end of the quiz.
That's the end.
Sorry for cutting you off there.
Quiz.
So we now come to our Christmas specials and putting the special into Christmas. I should have mentioned no Becca this evening. She was planning to be here, but she couldn't be due to, I suppose, scheduling, but just being very, very busy. Nigel has just commented about the quiz. You did well there, Mark. Not that I did any better. I mean, 0 is firm, kind of quite low down on that. But thank you, Tim, for hosting those quiz questions, and I hope others did better. I'm fairly sure it's the state of me rather than the state of your questions. So tonight, we're going to talk about Christmas specials and putting the special into Christmas or variants on those words. And I thought, just as a bit of a guide, as a bit of a help to keep us on track, I have made a little advent calendar, which hopefully will kind of reveal some bits and pieces. I just wonder if we start just by slowly revealing and then see how our conversation goes. Sounds and go from there, if that's all right.
For those that are joining on the podcast, we have a lovely advent calendar on the screen next to me and Mark, which has 2 wonderfully seasonal gnomes and the elf on the shelf in a bag looks like they're being carted off by the gnomes, which is probably the right place for the elf on the shelf to be.
This is our elf on the shelf, and a couple of years ago one of my children sort of said, why don't we do that as a family? I said, he's gaffer taped in the cupboard. And
it was actually gaffer taped.
Yeah, this is gaffer taped, and and I opened the cupboard and I went, there he is, and she was like, oh, that's cool, and nothing more was said. And so every year we have a joke that the elf on the shelf might be mentioned, and I'll go, there he is, yep, look, here he is, he's gaffer taped up, he's not getting up to any mischief. So it's just quite funny, really. So yes, this is a picture from our things. Interesting, the little gnomes, I would call them gonks, and I don't know whether that's like a specific kind of gnomey thing where you can't see their eyes and otherwise.
See, when I think gonk, I think the droid from Star Wars, the gonk droid.
Okay, yeah. I just don't know whether, for example, it may be a more specific item like IKEA or somewhere other outlets are available. So I just don't know. I'll have to have a look at some point. But I'm trying not to Google or Ecosia things whilst I'm on air for a change. First one on the window, by the way, is Gavin and Stacey. This is just a little snippet of a little picture of James
Corden and Ruth Jones.
Thank you very much. I've actually got a copy down here, so I don't have to. I had to clip it to fit it in the pictures.
It is. It's going to be interesting this year.
Yes.
So if you watch, if you're following, like watching an episode up till the premiere, which started on the 3rd of December, you'll be on season 2, episode 2, watching today. But yeah, no, 17 years it's been running. They've only just today put out a few stills from the show. So we know that there's a trip in the Picasso. We know that Bryn tries to do the limbo. And we know that Pam's getting a bit stressed with the organising of Christmas this year. But
as every year, isn't it?
But we also know that Neil the baby is 16 and is being an apprentice with Smithy. And we don't know what else is happening. We don't know if there's a time skip. We don't know. Well, there must be because it's the following Christmas. We don't know what happened at the end of the last Christmas special in 2019.
Is it when she proposed?
It is when she proposed.
We have
enough
no
to say
idea. Without, is that
I think it's been around long enough.
Yeah.
No one knows.
It's interesting because I'm not actually into Gavin and Stacey, although my other half is. It is interesting that it's kind of a Christmas special that they're using as an opportunity to kind of that nostalgia and that kind of final dip into the storyline. And I think this is what some of these specials are quite nicely to do. It's just like this nice kind of cozy feeling of Christmas, of getting together with relatives, but also getting together with the familiar and having a little look into the lives of these fictional characters, down the road, and
or having a last seasonal goodbye to them if they know that's the last one.
So that's quite sweet, really. Should we move on to the next window?
Number 2.
This is the festive Christmas Bake Off, and this stars Dean Gaffney, Sherry Murphy, Shobna Galati, and Natalie Cassidy, and Chris Bison. Hopefully I have pronounced all those correctly. But yeah, that's the Christmas Bake Off 2024.
And then the other seasonal one they're doing is the Christmas Hootenanny.
Of course.
As well, with all the past Scottish contestants.
Oh, really?
Including Pete's, what's his name, who was a guest on Spill the Spirituality by Hope and Anchor. Go listen to their podcast as well. It's a cross-podcast promotion.
Yeah, no, we're always a fan to promote other podcasts, even Methodist ones.
But it should be interesting. Like, I think it's the first year that Alison Hammond's done the Christmas special. Unless I missed a year. So that'll be interesting.
No, I think it is. It is. And I think she's landed really well, hasn't she, really?
Yeah.
I think I'm a big fan already. Next is, how is it? Beyond Paradise. That's the
Chris Marshall.
Special. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I find, and we might see one in a little bit of the Death in Paradise. In fact, I think it's next. The Death in Paradise Christmas special as well, where again it's this kind of nice. Both of those are this murder mystery or crime mystery, but they're quite cozy and easy watching. So Becky and I kind of sort of say this is our like Sunday evening watching of where you just get winding down. It doesn't need to be, a little bit of taxing is fine to work out who done it, but it kind of wraps up in an episode. Usually it's kind of quite kind of straightforward, and again it's this kind of little nod towards the series continuing to kind of drop into something. Usually though, I think the Death in Paradise, this is the start of, or you kind of have this Christmas special, then a couple of weeks, then the new series starts. So it's a nice kind of return, and just to kind of tantalize the taste buds before you kind of move on to then
this is one of the things I find really interesting about UK Christmas specials versus US Christmas specials, because of the way US broadcasting normally works. If you have a syndicated TV show over 28 episodes, you're starting in September and you're going through to the following May with breaks for Thanksgiving and Christmas in there. But their Christmas episodes are kind of tied into the main overarching plot of the series. So like with like some of the Modern Families, they have a they have like the Christmas meal turns out to be the last Christmas meal because it's the last series and they call it Last Christmas. Or the NCIS ones, which have been going on for 20 plus years now. It's like you have the seasonal murder mystery that's happening, which somehow ties into the overarching plot, but it's still kind of inbuilt in. Whereas like UK ones, I think are more the Christmas specials that a little bit extra.
Yeah.
So, for example, say take Doctor Who, which I'm sure might appear up later. There was no real seasonal Doctor Who specials before the modern era.
Yeah.
In fact, the only Christmas special that there was the Feast of Stephen, which was in 1956, which was part of an 8-part Dalek Davros storyline with William.
56.
I think it was 56. I could be wrong.
I think
it was an 8-part storyline of like Davros's plan, and it was episode 7 of 8 or 9. I can't remember which Doctor it was.
Sorry, it's just because yeah, it came out in 63, Doctor
63 numbers.
So I don't know, I was like 56. Are you sure? Because it just didn't ring true.
But that was the only special, like festive special that there was. Whereas now, it kind of isn't a Doctor Who calendar year without a seasonal special.
Yeah, it was definitely missed when they kind of skipped those a couple of times. But again, it's an interesting thing, isn't it, about kind of frequency of popular shows and how do you spread them out across the year without them losing steam, without them kind of running dry. So you kind of, you put a bit of effort into a Christmas special, so therefore you can have a bit of a gap and enter the new year and then return when people are more likely to be back in front of the TVs again, sort of thing. But I know, I'm sure I watched something somewhere about the fact that that it's not that profitable for TV productions to do Christmas specials if they're not part of a bigger run, and it takes a lot of effort to kind of change to set dress and change it all, kind of have all like the snow scenes and all this kind of potential snow scenes. But let's be honest, the Christmas special tends to have that, oh, it's snowing,
all that salt.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, I think there is this kind of thing where actually the UK does theirs quite well, and it's only these kind of big long kind of series where they're already invested in and kind of spanning across a number of seasons, where you can guarantee that you're going to have a Thanksgiving one, you're going to have a Christmas one, you're going to have I don't know, insert other.
I mean, like I'm thinking back to Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, and their first Christmas special was Jessica's first Christmas. So they had baby Jessica in the house, and then they had, Frank was now in charge of doing the nativity at the church. Oh no, Betty! No, oh. But is that kind of thing? Or you had before then, specials in the UK, at least on TV, were just like these compilation episodes kind of things, where you had like little Christmas sketches from certain TV shows. So rather than doing a whole show, it was you're only doing a small sketch with the existing set. It's only when you get into like the late 60s, early 70s, do you start seeing the Two Ronnies Christmas special, the Morecambe and Wise Christmas special, and certain other things popping up.
But then later again, the Two Ronnies then reverted back to the compilations at Christmas, just to highlight the kind of special ones. I remember some of those when I was little. I'm going to kind of skip forward a couple of these pictures. We've got Wallace and Gromit, which technically isn't a Christmas special
because it's already aired in Netflix in the US.
Yeah, but it's also kind of, it's a very Christmassy thing for Wallace and Gromit to be on TV at Christmas, if that makes sense.
I mean, the last one was A Matter of Life and Death.
Yeah,
and that was 2016, 2017, I think.
Yeah, it's quite a while back.
But it's also the first Wallace and Gromit without
Yes, the chappie from Last of the Summer Wine,
Last Summer
isn't
Wine.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not voicing. And it receives the return of Feathers McGraw.
Yes. Actual spoilers.
Actual spoilers if you haven't seen anything to do with it.
I mean,
Feathers McGraw is back.
if you actually see the poster, there's the actual shadow behind the little robotic gnome, which is in the shop, by the way, is the shadow of Feathers McGraw. So I don't think we're really kind of surprising anyone too much. Mentioned Doctor Who already. I'm just aware that Outnumbered again. It's that kind of revisiting of old stories.
That's a weird one for me.
I
like, don't get me wrong, I really love at the back. I've seen the synopsis and I'm like, oh, that's piquing me a little bit. But the last time they did a Christmas special was, the like, they'd just done the last series and they kind of like, Jake was going off to uni, Karen had found herself at uni, and Ben had, done well in the school play. And then they did the Christmas special, which was Grandad had died. We're scattering his ashes on Christmas Day. And they ended that in like a really good place as well.
Yeah.
As like kind of last hurrah. And now they're doing, it'd be nice to see them back. And see if it's just a one-off, it's just a one-off, and let's be blessed by it.
Yeah, it does feel these kind of like little nostalgia moments rather than is there actually a decent storyline, or is it just the familiarity that you're going for, and is it something that you're going to go, or are you testing the water? Because I think they did this with Open All Hours, with that reprise of the series that they did a Christmas special.
Still open All Hours with David Jason and Johnny Vegas.
Yeah, and I think they did like a Christmas special, and then it was kind of received so well, they then kind of reignited a new series of it. Reignited, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to open a couple more windows. That the King. I love the fact that on PowerPoint that I created this on, the AI predictive, the alternate text was saying "man in suit," and I was just like, "Yeah, okay." They can just be called a man in suit.
Yes.
Man in a blue suit. Again, it's these kind of traditions that we kind of have, or that wider society have, whether we actually do it or not. It's just that, we've got to have the King. He's got to have his broadcast and otherwise.
Yeah. Do you make the time to watch it?
I don't. I usually catch up at a later time because I'm a bit like busy on Christmas Day.
Yeah. And it's like, and then like with the next picture we got is like obviously a Christmas Carol service.
That is Call the Midwife.
Christmas yes.
Special. So it's a bit of a way away. But
again, that's a really good. I think they just finished the last season, so kind of it's like they've always had a Christmas special now every year that they've been on. I think the last one I actually remember watching was when they found an unexploded bomb, which was years and years ago.
I can't remember if there was a train crash one, whether that was a Christmas special or if it was just. I think
that sounds like a soap opera. There's always a train crash in a soap opera.
Yeah, well, I haven't actually got any of the soap operas on here. I'm going to reel off the last three of these, which is Old Creatures Great and Small, Tiddler, which again kind of falls into the Wallace and Gromit category of Julia Donaldson's kind of classics being animated, and then Gladiator special, which I just thought was hilarious because you've got Rob Beckett, Ellie Taylor, Bradley and Barney Walsh presenting, Louise Minchin and Joel Dommett in Gladiator Celebrity Special.
I'll tell you what we don't have on there, which should be the Mastermind Christmas specials. Not Mastermind, University Challenge.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's kind of one of the things where I'm like, actually, I don't like. It's one, I'm guaranteed to know some of the answers if I do it. But two, it's always fun seeing like celebrities just do University Challenge. It's just fun to see them doing that again. It's like one of those. It's one of those shows that it's there, it's airing. You don't necessarily watch it live, but you watch it all in bulk before it goes. Same with the Royal Institute Christmas lectures.
Oh, I forgot to put those on. That was an oversight.
This year it's doing about the guts and intestinal health, all the specials this year. But it's those kind of like they've been on so regularly now every single Christmas, especially on the BBC, that you're kind of like, yeah, I want to watch that.
Yeah,
you know.
I think some of these kind of help us to remind ourselves of Christmases past, and especially the historic Christmas specials. And we can still talk about the two Ronnies comfortably. Even though I don't think I rarely saw any of those live other than the compilation ones, but my dad loved them. And I think there are others where you kind of have the opportunity for real touching moments, whether it's a wedding or failed wedding. But then you also then have these moments of where they kind of cross over into jeopardy or tragedy, or kind of moments of just high energy, high emotions, because they feel as if they have to go there because it's a Christmas special. It kind of ticks the box.
And typically when they're doing that, it's going to be a Christmas special. There's going to be someone in jeopardy, and there's going to be someone angelic singing Silent Night in the background as they're doing like slow motion muted footage of this tragedy that's like happening and the peril that's there, and there's just one child in the background quietly singing Silent Night. It just is. It's always
other carols are available, but it is interesting, isn't it, of how the kind of and I guess I know why, because they want to show that actually Christmas isn't always good, and even in the church we have kind of blue Christmas services where you kind of sort of acknowledge the fact that actually sometimes Christmas can be hard, and I get that, but I just wonder also whether they sometimes use an excuse, because if they're not going to go down a spiritual or touching moment point, then they're going to go, oh, let's just steer into this crash, and let's renew the cast in a spectacular fashion.
There's always someone who's going to star in a Christmas special. But also, like,
I think that's a big generalization.
I mean, I'm
other than Death in Paradise.
I'm thinking back to every single soap opera. Like Martine McCutcheon died at Christmas when she was on EastEnders. Spoilers from 1999.
I think Last Century is fine.
But then you get to see but then there's like within that. So the last Christmas special for Gavin and Stacey, the actress who played Doris died 3 years previous, and they actually took a moment in the show to actually acknowledge her passing in character, and it was like those specials like take that moment to recognize that a member of the cast has passed on that was beloved, and we actually want to mention them. I mean, you kind of saw that in the seasonal specials that Vicar of Dibley did most recently, especially during lockdown, where they took the time to recognise all the parishioners who we come to know had passed on as well. And I think with this as well is like it creates that opportunity to, sit down post Christmas lunch, sit down, watch something, have a nap, well-deserved nap, or the Lord of the Presence is there, and there's something just fun, relaxing, light that you can watch. But also, I think, like, say with like friends, we do like Friendsgivings occasionally, where we just get a load of friends together and meet up with them. Actually, have that opportunity as well to have that seasonal special. In one sense, I mean, it happens. Say we started the episode talking about D&D. Actually, the festive one shots, as well as like it's that break within the normal that gives you an opportunity to do something weird and fun and out there, but still do it within that community.
Yeah, and I think this is it, isn't it? Because actually, Christmas time, whether you believe in the kind of Christmas story, or have faith or not, it gives you the opportunity to do things differently. It's like the Christmas party. It's kind of permission to lean in towards the emotional, to lean in towards the miraculous, dare I say, of there are a number of shows where either a baby turns up on the doorstep, or oh, it's a Christmas miracle. Everything sorts itself out. You have this kind of mad dash, of oh no, woe is us. What is going to happen? What can anything else happen? Oh yeah, that's happened.
The turkey's disappeared.
Yeah,
and someone hasn't put the sprouts on.
And then you have like this kind of resolve at the end, and it kind of like slowly pans, kind of pulls away, and actually it's a lovely Christmas after all. And so I kind of get it. It's just sometimes it is a bit twee, just like the Christmas adverts. We've not really mentioned those in the last couple of weeks.
I haven't really seen them this year.
I think it's because a lot of them came out in November and people were sick of them quite quickly. Quite like in Hush the Noise, the Methodist one this year. I'll mention that and move on. It's been interesting again. How do we... The TV and the role of the TV, or kind of the screen, kind of enables us to kind of see a glimpse, or dare I say, our TV shows and programs, our kind of way in for parables, for stories that we can relate to, that people can kind of dive a little bit deeper with and have a bit of a nudge towards, just like we talked last week about Wicked and the parallels in the world, what you can get away with as a political or emotional message. These are like extended members of your family if you have watched them in and out, and I think Gavin and Stacey, like, outnumbered. I'm just looking across here,
outnumbered. We've seen the kids literally grow before our eyes, and
so it is that kind of touching base with these fictional people to sort of see how they're doing, and I think they, by and large, it is warm. They are warmly received for those kind of fans who.
I mean, if there were a non spoiler, I was going to do because I knew we would probably mention about Beyond Paradise. Chris Marshall was also one of those people that we saw grow up before our eyes on My Family, and was in one of the most quintessential English Christmas movies, in Love Actually. He was Colin.
I think he was in something else as well.
Probably. I mean, he was in the BT adverts. He was that family.
Yes,
which we never got an ending. BT, if you are listening, you robbed us of an ending on that family dynamic.
Of course. Yeah.
It was a couple. For those that do not know, go and find them. I'm sure they're available online. But it's about this man, this woman who meet one another. They start having phone calls. They start dating. Then they get married. She's bringing her kids from a previous relationship. And it's about him trying to get to know his stepkids. And it's a really good story. It's told in 30-second adverts about selling you on BT.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is an advert. Or a series of adverts. But again, this is it. They have that emotional kind of ability to take us somewhere that our daily lives might not do in such a trivial way, I guess. Or, you have the ability to turn it over and kind of close that door, reflect on your life and go,
Just before we get onto Geeky Gallery, which I know is coming up, what is the one Christmas special that, if you could keep going back to watch every single Christmas, what would that one Christmas special be?
Oh, that is a difficult one. I've just got Tim Baker is just kind of coming in with Evening Friends. What have I missed?
I've been extolling the virtues of the BT Christmas adverts from the early 2000s.
Christmas specials for me. I mean, Doctor Who is quite high there. I love the Husbands of River Song. And so, I really like that one. And I've watched that a number of times. But, what about for you? Christmas special?
Mine's a lot older than that. Mine's the Yes Minister Season 3 Christmas special, which is the one where... with Colin Frizzle. Yes, with Chris Marshall. for the BT adverts. But that special was a one-off. They brought in just to do an extended story, wrap up people's stories that turn into Yes Prime Minister. But that kind of Christmassy story, lots of political farce, but it was one of those things I'm like, I will go back and watch that.
Yeah.
Along with, Dad's Army and Porridge and a few others, but like those kind of short, sharp Christmas specials that I can just watch on repeat.
Yeah, I think I'm more likely to catch them up if not. And Tim has just mentioned the podcast that you'll catch up on. That's a little note for people as well. And you can also find us on Discord. That's our plug. I do kind of like as the Father Ted specials, the Blackadder, Christmas Carol ones. I also like the Show Goes Wrong ones as well, which is hilarious now that our children are old enough to read and see the vaguely swear words, which was a little bit embarrassing. But they're two of the Christmas specials. They've had 2 years of Christmas specials.
The one where they're doing the nativity play, but they have to get sponsored by corporate finance.
Yes,
we got gold standard interest rates.
And we've got good mortgage rates. Yes, I love the mischief. Show Goes Wrong. We're going to move to Geeky Gallery. I'm aware of time, and let's just let's take a few more minutes. This is Tom's stuff, all in all of its glory. His Lego village is fantastic. I say village; it looks more like a town.
It is. It's a Hallmark movie town.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, we could do an entire Faith Geekery on Hallmark movies. That is. Maybe Tom could recreate a Hallmark movie using his Lego figures.
I think he should be popping in next week, which is also a plug for our Christmas special, where we're going to be inviting a number of guests on. So that'll be fantastic, whether they turn up or not. So that looks fantastic, Tom. Well done. I love the little sleigh up in the top shelf as well. Yeah, folks. Is it Steve? I keep on forgetting whether it's Steve Sutton or Simon Sutton. So apologies.
Steve Sutton.
Steve, thank you.
Yeah.
He posted a link to he posted a link to a video, but we can't play it on here. But that was a cool rendition. I have got a picture here of some of my minis, which I used in the one-off, which went into the Feywild. Which is that
a dandelion?
Yes, it is a dandelion. At the back, it's like a lion that looks like a dandelion. Yeah. Anyway, we've got some gonks or little gnomes. That was like a little party that were kind of neutral helpers. And then we were winged rats and some wild spore boars sort of things. They've got like little mushrooms on the backs of them. And a little knight. I didn't share all of the video. I've got more pictures on the Discord. But they were just some of the smaller characters, including a couple of strange travellers as well, where one was sat on a sack and were handing out presents, and another one was an unknown character that they brought back, assuming it was a teacher from the school that they had saved from this. Anyway, but it then changed into a dragon and flew away. And so they were like, what? And then there's a picture from yourself, which is the gift wrap challenge, which, would you like to explain this?
Yes. So we did a Taskmaster Christmas special for our annual friendship Christmas get together. And our prize task, as with all Christmas specials for Taskmaster, was the most misleadingly wrapped gift. Which I won. Actually, I won the whole Taskmaster Christmas special. I chose 4 separate items and wrapped them individually to create them into a tank.
Very good. Dare we ask what it actually is, or is that a surprise?
We had to unwrap them there and then.
Oh, okay.
It is Post-it notes, a wellness journal, a Pritt stick. Other forms of glue stick are available, and I believe like some hand sanitizer. The gift I got was a lint roller and 3 lint roll refills, because I'm an adult and I keep forgetting where our lint roller is.
Very good. Very good. And what was that in the shape of?
That was also in the shape of a tank. The tanks
Oh,
won that prize. Mine was more of a modern day Abrams tank, while the one I got was more of a bit more of a Lincolnshire classic.
And I can't remember the name of it. So I've been to the museum where they had the army tank in Lincolnshire. Let's move on. There is a picture here from various advent calendars, and so we referenced David's Specky Geek stuff from last week. So he's, the radio control car is really coming along, really but no batteries yet. I did ask, what day do you get the batteries on?
25th.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. You got your tea there. So that's just is that 6 days worth of tea and cups?
6 days, yeah,
mugs?
and cup. Yeah, I've decided just to randomly do additional thing where I'm going to try and do a different mug every single day, to go with the different teas.
Fantastic.
So I took them to my work retreat and had them there as well.
Very good, very good. I was going to say we've actually got our Christmas mugs, so we actually have a whole box that we pack away our non-seasonal mugs and bring out our seasonal mugs, purely because we just have so many mugs. So it's ridiculous, but also lovely. Then we also have Tom's Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar, which I think is pretty awesome of how small they are. To recreate some of the X-wings.
I think I read, and Tom can probably correct me if I'm wrong. Because it's an anniversary for when they started doing Lego Star Wars official sets, that they're actually like harking back to some of the early models within those sets. And I believe the bottom left-hand picture, that item, the little figurine that's made, is when you're playing the Lego Star Wars games and you're trying to collect all the mini sets. That's the thing that you're building as you're collecting your mini set at the end of every level.
You get them. I think you can actually technically get 3. One for collecting the mini sets, one for doing the full coins, and one for doing something else. I'm fairly sure, or it used to be anyway, on the original PlayStation. I should mention here as well. It turns out I found out last week that my son has started to watch these and listen to them, and he said that he could share very much a whole episode on his Minecraft Lego, but it's interesting that we had a conversation with him saying, "Do you want to do a Lego Advent Calendar?" He was like, "No, I don't want that." And I said, "Well, just because it is expensive, and we just wanted to make sure." And he was like, "No, I want Match Attacks cards." Which like football season cards. And I was like, "Oh, okay, we can do that." And then we went to the shop and we're like, "How much are these cards?" Oh my gosh! It would have been cheaper to have done a Lego Star Wars calendar.
What would be good is getting your son to do a review, perhaps, on the Minecraft movie.
Yes, he's very much wanting to go. We're also going to be doing Sonic 3 as well at the cinema.
Oh, yes.
We are looking forward to that.
Oh, yes.
Very much so. And so that is the end of Geeky Gallery. And I think we're running 5 minutes over.
Yeah.
So I hope, you've had fun, folks, and you've been listening all right on the podcast too. And next week we are coming back for our Christmas special, and then we'll have our couple of weeks off over Christmas time and kind of come back with a new season. And I think that'll be series 3 of Faith and Geekery, and I hope we won't finish on a bombshell on a
we
on an emergency.
We just need to have, like, at the end of the podcast, just like add like audio of like a train coming through or something like that.
Well, let's talk about that later. So that's good. But bless you, folks. And I think we're exploring news and old ways of things, ideas, projects coming into the new year and things like that. And so if you want to be a guest or know people on I was about to say online. Do you know people online? Do you know people who can potentially have a webcam and headphones to talk about something of interest that they're passionate about, that they're geeky about, or that is of interest? Then please get in touch.
And likewise, if you haven't already, please join us on the Discord. Links are around wherever you find this stream or podcast. There is a link to the Discord within there. We'd love to have you join us on the community there, and even show what you're geekily doing in our geeky gallery.
You, Tim. Thank you. And let's finish on another misquote. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus on our hobbies to see the light. By Aristotle. Fantastic.